Hi, everyone. This is Lynn Weinman. Hi, everyone. This is Lynn Weinman, founder and chief strategist of Kid Glove. Since this is live, I'm never quite sure what everyone is seeing. I think you're seeing something weird. There we go. Let's see if that works out. Hey, everyone, this is Lynn Weinman. It is Marketing Monday. And today I want to share 9 reasons to prioritize diversity in marketing. Several of you last week responded to a poll that I put on LinkedIn saying this is the topic you would most like to hear about. And what we know is that across America, marketing leaders are talking about how to incorporate DE&I into their campaigns. For most of us, we know it is the right thing to do. However, now we're seeing data that also shows it is a strategy for success. Even a recent leadership strategy document from Forbes states that American enterprise must adopt DE&I as a strategy for growth if they are to compete in the 21st century. And so for marketers, that means we need to incorporate this principle into our marketing efforts. And so specifically, here are 9 reasons why we should do this. The first is from a study done by Facebook advertising that says that 71% of people expect brands to promote diversity and inclusion in their online advertising. They say that people around the world are demanding to see themselves better represented in advertising, and they want to see true diversity of their communities depicted more often and more accurately across many areas, including race, gender, sexual orientation, and people with disabilities. These expectations apply to brands' full range of marketing, including their online campaigns. There you go. Reason number 2, also from Facebook advertising. The best strategy for ad recall in 90% of their simulations was diversity. So Facebook is testing a lot of different things, and diverse representation is the winning strategy in 90% of simulations. So that is pretty substantial. Let's go to point number 3. This is from the heat test report, which is developed by experts from Duke University and UT Austin. Their study shows that brands with the highest diversity see 83% higher consumer preference. So once again, we are always as marketers looking for strategies to get higher consumer preference, and it looks like diversity is testing out as a winner. The fourth statistic that I want to share, another one from Facebook advertising. They're doing a lot of testing right now. 54% of consumers surveyed by Facebook said they do not feel fully culturally represented in the advertising they see. So once again, that's 54% of respondents. If you want to connect with an additional 54% of respondents, diversity in your marketing is a good way to go. Point number 5 of 9 is from Microsoft advertising. Microsoft, obviously a juggernaut in many things. Their studies indicate that 70% of Gen Z consumers are more trusting of advertising that shows diversity. So this is important because Gen Z already has a collective buying power that is nearing $150 billion. So that is a market that I think many of us would like to tap into. Point 6 comes from the Accenture Holiday Shopping Survey. Over 69% of millennials in this survey, millennials also a huge market that we're all trying to tap into, they're more likely to choose one brand over another if that brand demonstrates inclusion and diversity in its promotion and offers. So 69% of millennials more likely to choose you if you're showing diversity in your ads. Point 7 comes from the GLAAD LGBTQ Inclusion Study. And their study shows that 82% of people believe marketing efforts to promote LGBTQIA plus audiences are reflective of a brand that values all forms of diversity. So now we're starting to talk about, what types of diversity are beneficial to show in your advertising. I would argue that all types, but in this case in particular, they're signaling that showing LGBTQIA plus audiences will demonstrate values of all forms of diversity. Point number 8. Point number 8 comes from PQ Media. This is a study that PQ Media did for the Association of National Advertisers Alliance for Inclusive and Multicultural Marketing. And this study states that multicultural consumers make up almost 40% of the United States population. And we all know that that is growing. However, only 5.2% of the total ad and marketing spends of most major advertisers is going towards a multicultural market. So that gap there represents opportunity for those of us that want to connect with greater audiences. Point number 9 comes once again from the heat test report that I noted earlier, and that is 1 in 4 people live with a disability. But get this, so that's 25% of people live with a disability, yet only 1% of ads represent people with disability. And I know this can be a tough one because there's a lot of disabilities that are not always readily apparent. So I believe that these 9 points highlight the importance of prioritizing diversity in your marketing. And if you would like additional resources on purpose-driven marketing, including our recent blog post on 7 questions you should be asking to incorporate diversity into your marketing, go to kidglove.com, check out the expertise section in the navigation, and then go to the purpose-driven marketing page for more of that information. You'll find a number of blog posts in addition to the one that I referenced. You'll see case studies and you'll see podcast episodes from thought leaders. In particular, I would have you look at podcasts from Dr. Helen Fagan, Abby Swatsworth, Mike Adams, Paulette Monti, and Ramon Calzada that particularly touch on issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And of course, members of our Kid Glove team would love to talk with you. Our Kid Glove creative team recently participated in national training on campaign enlightenment and how to overcome implicit bias in marketing. So thank you so much for joining me today. Drop me any questions in the comments or send me a message. I'd love to talk with you. Have a great day.